Can't tell you how excited the kids get every year when we are asked to come and speak to you at the Demonthon. This is our 4th year here, and we are absolutely delighted, and thank you very much. So Tom, do you want to talk about your affiliation with DePaul?
So I am Tom Bransfield. I'm the father of the evilest person in the universe. But I graduated from the DePaul in 2000. So let me tell you, guys are part of a great university, and you're only feeling you're kind of feeling the community and the spirit tonight. But as you graduate and move on, you'll even see it in a bigger aspect. Like for interviews or communities, you're always going to run into somebody from DePaul. And you instantly have this connection that's unlike many other schools. DePaul is very unique, and I just want to tell you good things ahead of you. So I thought I'd take this time then to introduce our oldest, the good girl, Catherine. So Catherine, why don't you tell a little bit about yourself?
I go to school at St. Josephat. I'm in 5th grade, and in 3rd grade I did a whole art project about how we can donate money to Laurie Children's and for heart defects like Sean's. And we actually donated one of our arts to Laurie Children's, and it raised $155.
Yes. Okay, now Catherine, you're going to St. Joseph's and you're in 5th grade. You have some big decisions ahead of you. Where do you want to go to high school?
Oh gosh.
Okay, skip high school. More importantly, where do you want to go to college? DePaul University.
USC!
Hey, USC!
No, I'm joking, DePaul.
Now, we'll introduce our second child, Jeremiah. There's always, in every family, there's somebody who goes to the good side, the dark side, and the other side. And he's the other side. So this is our son, Jeremiah, we think. Now, Jeremiah, why don't you tell the crowd a little bit about yourself? Tell them where you go to school.
I go to school at St. Josephat. I'm in 4th grade.
And what sports do you play?
And I play on I-9 Sports.
And what's your favorite Star Wars movie?
My favorite Star Wars movie would be The Last Jedi.
Now, Jeremiah, 4th grade, you have some big decisions coming up. Where do you want to go to college?
DePaul!
All right, now we're going to skip Sean for a moment. We're going to go right into Griffin. Okay, Griffin, can you tell us what your name is?
Griffin?
What's your middle name? No, Francis, sorry.
Francis?
Okay, what's your last name? Last name?
Greenstone.
Okay, Griffin, now tell everybody, where do you go to school?
St. Josephat.
And what grade are you in?
Kindergarten?
That's right, you're in kindergarten. Now, who is your teacher?
Miss Yanni?
And who is your favorite character in Star Wars? Pick one. Okay, guys.
Luke Skywalker.
Yeah! Right. Luke Skywalker. Okay, Luke Skywalker. Now, Griffin, when you get out of kindergarten, you're going to have to go to college. Do you know where you want to go to college? Where do you want to go to college? Say DePaul. Say DePaul. Hurry. No pressure. Okay, well, maybe Loyola for Griffin, but we'll get him somewhere. Okay, now these guys, I'll just do a quick introduction. We're not going to interview you guys. You're kind of adopted children. These guys are part of the Cub Scout group. of our team, and we did a lemonade. You'll see some pictures after. We did a lemonade stand after Mass, and just in a matter of 15 minutes, they raised, how much? $400 for Demonthon. And all these guys helped. So that's why we got them up here. They're all part of the team. Okay, now the man of the hour, though, Sean Bransfield. Sean, say hello.
Hi.
Okay, Sean, can you tell him, where do you go to school?
St. Joseph.
And what grade are you in, Sean? What grade?
Kindergarten.
All right. All right, now, Sean, who is your favorite character? Oh, I'm sorry, wait a minute. Who do you want to be when you grow up? Who do you want to be when you grow up?
Coloran.
Okay. All right, now, Sean, no pressure. When you go to college, what college do you want to go to? No, say DePaul.
DePaul.
Okay, now let Mommy talk. Okay.
All right. Well, now that we're done with the introductions, I'll just tell you a little bit about Sean's story and the reason why we think it's so important what you're doing. We are so grateful that you're spending 24 hours here. We know that's a lot of time and a lot of energy. So we probably couldn't do that. So thank you for doing it for us. So Sean he's 7 years old now. And when Sean was born, half of his heart had failed to form. So we knew that before he was born. He was transported to Lurie Children's immediately, and when he was 5 days old, he was taken back to surgery for his first open heart surgery. So that surgery, we handed him off to the doctors in the morning, and it lasted for 12 and a half hours. So that was probably the longest day of our lives. It was a lot of emotions, but by the end of the day, Sean came out and he did very well, and then was able to. He stayed in the hospital for another 5 months, which was just down the street at the time, and so we went back and forth and took care of him and took care of the kids at home. When he was 6 months old, Sean went back in for his second open heart surgery. So basically what they're trying to do is realign the plumbing of his heart to be able to operate on a single ventricle. So he went in for his second surgery, did really well that time, came home a week later. But when Sean first came home, he was on oxygen and he was on a feeding tube, and he required a lot of care. And so Tom and I managed most of his care at home, and were able to take him to local places like Trebs Park. We would bring him over the park just to get some fresh air. So it's really nice to be in this neighborhood when you are in a situation like we were in. So after he was 6 months old, we spent the next 3 years just getting him to gain weight. So we needed to focus on gaining weight and doing some therapy for his physical therapy and occupational therapy. And by the time he was 4 years old, he was ready to go in for his third surgery. So along the way, we found out when Sean was 2 years old that he was progressively losing his hearing, which is somewhat a side effect of his heart condition. So Sean then went in for another operation to put a cochlear implant into his head, and he is now able to hear at fairly normal levels. So we're really grateful again for Lurie and all of the technical skills that they have at this hospital. So his third surgery took place when he was 4 years old, his last open heart surgery, when they finalized the connection, and they again was very successful. Lurie's heart practice is actually very highly ranked in the nation, so we're super lucky and grateful that it's here in Chicago. So sometimes people have to travel great distances to come here, and so we're grateful that we're able to get this type of care in our backyard. Sean, this year, he's had some stable years this year. It's been a little rough. He spent Christmas in the hospital. He had an infection, so it's a little bumpy, but our road has been very positive, and we can't thank you enough for everything that you're doing here. I know you're probably have been personally impacted by Lori. Most of these kids up here have probably also been personally impacted. So this is not just about Sean, it's about all of the kids that go there for care. And we just can't thank you enough.
Thank you. And just to kind of elaborate a little on what Jen said. So when you talk about open heart surgery, you got to remember Sean, when he was born, was about 8 to 9 pounds. And so at the time, if you think like a bowling ball, and the size of his heart is like a walnut. And so when doctors are doing surgery on this, it's really a delicate procedure. And that takes a lot of expertise and training and equipment, obviously. And his surgery was so complicated that at one point, they actually have to stop his heart from beating for about 20 minutes to a half an hour, where then he's on a heart-lung machine. And then they try to repair this tiny little heart and then restart it and then reconnect all of his, everything else to get his blood and circulation and lungs and all of his organs started up again. So you can imagine how much, and you saw the pictures of how much support and equipment and expertise and doctors and all that money goes towards making that miracle happen. And this tonight is for the kids. And Sean is one of these kids, but he is just one of many. They perform this surgery, I think it's like twice a month. So if you think about the families and the communities that have to go through it, it's an ongoing basis. And the money is one aspect, but I have to tell you too, the community and the support, we did a lot of his care, but it helped so much that we had so many babysitters from DePaul. So every year we come back for this, everybody just cheers us on, tells us to hang in there. And so it's not only money, but it's really your support and community. And that's what's great about DePaul. And that's what's great about coming back here. And that's what I look forward for my kids to enjoy after all 4 of them graduate from here. So I want to thank you guys again tonight. This is it's a great high energy evening. It's one you're never going to forget. And I know it means a lot to us to see everybody out here raising money and supporting all the kids from Children, and Sean is one of them. So now we're going to share some more pictures of Sean after the hospital and kind of lighten things up. So thank you again.